Alright guys, welcome to part 6 of my Doctor Who collection. We're going to finish off the DVDs and show you some of my books and magazines that are Doctor Who related. Alright, we last left off with the complete third series of Doctor Who. This replaces Billie Piper. We got a new companion, played by Freema Agyeman. She plays the companion named Martha Jones. And, this really is a mixed bag of episodes. I mean, you start off with The Runaway Bride, which guest stars Catherine Tate. She's a British comedian, and it's just okay. Her character is really annoying in it. It's just an okay story. Smith and Jones, really strong opener. I think that's one of Russell T Davies' best openers. Shakespeare Code, written by Gareth Roberts. I think it's his best episode that he's written. Gridlock, one of Russell T Davies' better episodes. Then you come to Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. This is a horrible two-parter. This wasn't written very well. Just had bad ideas in it. Come to the Lazarus Experiment, which is a fun romp. Also, it guest stars Mark Gatiss, who is a Doctor Who writer. He's written for the previous two series. Doesn't write for this series though. Then you have 42, which is not a very good episode, written by Christian Nell, who also wrote a lot of Torchwood episodes. Also, we have Human Nature and the Family of Blood. This is an awesome two-parter. This is an adaptation of Paul Cornell's Doctor Who New Adventures novel called Human Nature, where the Doctor becomes human, and there are these aliens attacking it. It's just a very, very, very good two-parter. We also have Blink, which is written by Stephen Moffat, who is currently the lead writer on the new series of Doctor Who. And Blink is considered to be one of the best episodes in the new series. He's won quite a few awards for that episode. Then we have the three-part finale, Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and The Last of the Time Lords. And this one brings back an old enemy, and it's pretty good. It kind of does fall apart a little bit in the last episode, but it's okay. It's a decent way to wind up the season. So, third series, kind of weak, but still there's a lot of fun to be had there. Now, Series 4 I don't have anymore. I sold it because some of the discs had gotten scratched, and I want to pick up a new copy of that. But Series 4 is really good. Some great episodes in that. And then that brings us to Doctor Who The Complete Specials on Blu-ray. This features the last 5 episodes of David Tennant's run as the 10th Doctor. And this is also kind of a mixed bag. I mean, you've got this one, you have the next Doctor, which promised a lot. It promised that it was going to show the next Doctor. It was going to have like a two-Doctor story, like the classic series did. And the story just, it kind of unraveled. It didn't really hold together that well. I mean, like the first 25 minutes were great, and then it just like all fell apart from there. But the guest stars in it, David Morrissey does a phenomenal job in what he's given in his role. My major problem with it is that his character arc just goes nowhere. But it's okay. And then we have Planet of the Dead, which is co-written by Russell T Davies and Gareth Roberts. And it's a fun romp. It also stars Michelle Ryan in it. She was in Stephen Moffat's Jekyll, and also she was in the short-lived Bionic Woman reboot series from a couple years back. Then we have The Waters of Mars, and I think this is the best episode on here. Best episode of the 5. It's got some great ones in it, and just a great story. Nice twist at the end, too. That brings us to the End of Time Parts 1 and 2. This is Russell T Davies' final farewell to Doctor Who. And there are a lot of things in it that are over the top. I mean, they're bringing President Obama into it. I mean, some guy that looks like him. There's no need for that. And, it's just very over the top. But at the same time, there are a lot of good elements to it. And I I mostly like The End of Time. I think I like Part 2 a little bit better than Part 1, but for the most part, it's pretty good. You do have some nice special features on this. You got commentaries on a few of the episodes, not all. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good one to pick up, and the picture quality looks great on this. Alright, now that brings us to the magazines and books. Now, Doctor Who started out coming out with magazines. I think it was in the 70s when Tom Baker was the Doctor. It was called Doctor Who Monthly then. It's been retitled Doctor Who Magazine, and it's been going strong since then. And I've picked up, as you can see, quite a few. And these are actually fairly expensive. I mean, they are imported from the UK, so these are like about $9 each. When I look at these and think about how much overall I paid for these, it can sometimes bring a tear to my eye. But I still really like these. There are comics in these and great information about the show, and it's just fun reading about these. And I love the magazines. Okay, next we have some of the reference books, like we have Monsters and Villains. This just gives you information on some of the villains from the new series as well as the classic series. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun read if you're a Doctor Who fan. And then it continues on with Aliens and Enemies. This does the same thing, just expands upon more of the Doctor's enemies. And then I picked up the Betrothal of Sontar. This is a collection of Doctor Who magazine comic books, and a lot of these I missed out on, so I figured I'd pick this up, and this is a fun read. There's a lot of good stories in here. Also, with this one, this also does feature a comic strip by Gareth Roberts called The Lodger, which was the inspiration for the new series episode with Matt Smith by the same name. Next, we have a storybook, 2007, featuring the 10th Doctor and Rose. And this one just has some short stories in it by a lot of writers from the show, like Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat. And it's just a fun read overall. They've come out with quite a few of these. You can get them really cheap online, so I'd recommend picking those up. Next, we have some books from the new series and the classic ones. These aren't really in any order. I'm not really going to go into much depth with these because I haven't read them all. Forever Autumn. This obviously takes place during the third series. I've read not close to half of this, and it's okay. It hasn't really done a lot to get me into the story. So I mean, I don't like it, that much. Oh, and I forgot about these right here. I have Doctor Who the Handbook. This is for William Hartnell, the first Doctor, and I need to get these for the rest of the Doctors. But this has a tremendous amount of information in it, just great facts in it. Recommend picking those up, and they have them for all 7 Doctors from the classic series. Then we have some of these quick reads for the new series. We have I Am a Dalek by Gareth Roberts. And this is a pretty good story. This is better than most of the televised stories Gareth Roberts has written. Then we have Made Steel, which is written by Terrence Dicks, and he wrote a lot of the classic series stories, so this is pretty good. But yeah, back to Forever Autumn. Just not that great. Next, moving on to The Clockwise Man. I really haven't read this one yet, but it seems interesting. This is by Justin Richards, who's written quite a few Doctor Who books. Then we have one by Jacqueline Rayner, Winner Takes All. It's in a paperback form. Haven't read that one. Then we have Only Human. This is actually a really good story. I quite like this one by Gareth Roberts. The Nightmare of Black Island. This is a pretty generic Doctor Who story, and the villains are kind of like one of the villains in the new series. So it's an okay read.